Welcome back, friends. In this tutorial session we are going to continue with our coding. In the previous two videos I have shown you the working and explanation, and then we have done the coding a little bit. We are going to complete the coding and then testing in this video session. So in the previous session we have done the scan contents.h and then scan contents.cpp. These two were completed by us, and then now we are going to do the main.cpp. So the first line will be you are going to include the header file, and then next what we are going to do is that we need to create our main function. This is the function where our main program execution starts. So this is how we generally write a main function. The main function should have the return type int. We can even put void, but then if you put an int you need to return 0, and then main is the name of the function, and then the first parameter is the number of command line arguments, and the second parameter is the arguments. This can be optional, you can include or not. So now we need to start our coding now. So first what I want to do is that I want to clear the screen. Some people say that using this system will hinder your performance and then reduce the thing, but then this function will not be called always. We'll be calling it only at the starting of the program, so no effect on the hack. So we have cleared the screen. After clearing the screen, what we do is we are going to welcome the user and tell that this is the Paladins trigger port. Alright, so this is the Paladins trigger port, and then we are going to give the instructions to the user. What were the instructions? Put the screen resolution to 1024 by what was it, 768, and 24 by 768. And then this is about the screen resolution, and then reticle type should be drop, and then what was the next? The reticle color should be yellow. That is it, and then we are going to close this. So we are telling the user to put the screen resolution in so and so. Let us put a backslash n to make it a new line. In the next line, reticle type to be drop, and then in the next line it will be reticle color to yellow. These are the things which you need to maintain. After that we are going to ask him if he wants to search for the game. First thing is you need to search for the game. So we'll tell him to press 1 if he wants to press 1 on the numpad to search for game. So if he presses 1 only, we are going to search for the game. But then now how to know if we pressed 1 or not? Again the same concept. We are going to check if we are going to use the function getAsyncState of 1. So these lines of code should be running until he presses 1. So it should be, this is sure that we need to put this in a loop. But which loop to use? If we use a for loop, it will be repeated only for n number of times, where n should be previously specified. If we use a while loop, but then without, we need to give a condition over here. If the condition is false, this will not be executed. So finally we have do while loop. So we need to go for a do while loop. So we need to tell it to do this while. What we need to do is that while we didn't get a 1, so we need to do all this thing while will tell that while the condition is not happening. So while not of get async state of async key state of what we want is numpad vk underscore in numpad it should be 1. So what we are telling it is that the while should end with a semicolon do while loop. So do all this while user doesn't not observe this not while not the user doesn't enter a 1, this whole thing should be done. So if he presses a 1, we'll come out of this loop. Once we come out of this loop, the first thing which we need to do is we need to declare a variable game name. What the game name is, if you have observed the game name of the Paladins, it is chaos space and then it will be 32-bit 32 hyphen bit comma dx9. This will be the name of the game. If you observe the game on the game screen, end it with this, and then this is a game name. Next thing what we need to do is we need to create a h window. What let me declare a variable and then explain about it. H window for game window is equal to, and then find window, the first parameter will be 0, the second parameter will be game name dot c underscore string. Alright, now let me explain this line. What this does is h window stands for handle for a window. I mean by window is that this is a window, and then what we do by declaring h window is that h means for handle. What it does is it returns a handle for us. What can you tell a handle as that? Let's say you are bicycling and then you have a handle in your hand. So what can you do with that handle? We can control the steering of it and then make it go in the direction which we want. In the similar way, h window is the handle for the window, and then we can control the window and make whatever we want with it. So I declared a variable game window of type h window, and then we are finding the window. The first parameter is for the class name. If it is 0, then it will search for all the windows, and then this find window needs a second parameter as name, but then this second parameter of name should be a character array. So this is of type string. So I want to convert it into .c underscore str. What it does is it converts it into character array, and then game name. So it converts this string into character array, and then it gives to the find window. This find window will return the game handle, I mean window handle, and then it is stored in the game window. So we have created a handle to the window of the game. The next thing we need is a rectangle. So the rectangle will contain the access area of the window. Let's say this is the window. Only this part of this window is accessible. That means we can control this, only this part which is under our control is called the access area. So this rectangle will hold the access area of it. Rectangle, and let us call it as rect. We have created the rectangle, and then now if let's say the user hasn't opened the game and then he run this hack, we want to tell him that the game process is not open. So what we do is that we want to check continuously, so we need a loop while not of game window. So what it tells is that while is a loop, and then the condition is that while not of game window. That is, if the find window doesn't return anything, what we need to do is we need to tell the user that we haven't found this, so we are waiting for game. waiting for game. We are waiting for game. And then what we do is let us clear the screen. Let us clear the screen. And then we let us tell that we are waiting for the game window, and then once again we need to check if he has opened the game. So again the same thing, this find window will search for the window and then it will return to the game window. If so again if we find the game window, we'll exit out of this loop. Until then we need to be looping over here. I hope you understand. So we need, and again we need to control the speed of the loop. So we'll put a sleep for 1 second, 1000 milliseconds, which equals 1 second. So we'll wait for a second. First thing, if we'll check if the window is there or not. If the window is not there, we'll tell him that wait for a window and then search for it. And then afterwards we'll wait for a second and then check if there is a window or not. If no window, we'll search for it again and then sleep for a second. After a second we might have opened it. So if he has opened it, we'll exit out of the loop. So if he has exited out of the loop, let me copy paste, because I'm so lazy to type everything. Found game. So if we exited out of the loop, which means that we have found the game. So we'll tell that we have found the game, and then now the next thing is we'll ask him if he wants to start the hack. So again we'll use the same procedure which we have used over here. We'll ask him to press 1 on the numpad to start the trigger bot. So this is the thing, and then again in the previous fashion only we need to put a do while loop over here, and then the last sentence will be the same. You can just directly copy paste it. So if we have found the game, we'll print that we have found the game, and then we'll print that press 1 on the numpad to start the trigger bot. And then again in the similar way here we'll insert a sleep for 1 second and wait for his user's input. Let's say now the user has pressed OK, he wants to start the game. Now the main matter starts. So if he has pressed a 1, let us clear the screen first. Clear the screen and say that trigger bot has started, and then we need to tell him the instruction how to use. Trigger bot started. Hover over enemies. Hover over enemies to auto shoot. So this is the functionality of the trigger bot. So we are going to clear the screen, and then we are going to print that trigger bot has been started, and then hover over enemies to auto shoot. This is the instruction which we want to give to the user. And then if you remember from the CPP file, we have told that if he presses a delete key, we will allow him to get out of this loop. So we can include that over here. We can tell that you can press delete to exit out of the press delete to exit out to close. Okay. So the trigger bot has been started, and then we are telling that you can press delete to close the thing. Now the main thing starts. What we need to do is we need to get the rectangle from the game window and then store it in the rectangle object. I think we have created the rectangle object over here. So what we need to do is we need to get the access area of the game window and then put it into the rectangle. So to do that we need to use the function get window rectangle. Get window get window rect, and then it takes two parameters. One is a h window and the second one is the rectangle. So the first thing is window, h window. The game window is the window, and then to which rectangle we are going to store, we need to pass the address of the rectangle. We have passed the address of the rectangle. Now we have got the control over the rectangle. What next we need to do is we need to find the HDC, as we need to give the HDC to the scan reticle scan contents function. We need to give a HDC. If you remember, this HDC will give the API controls for us to handle it. So we need to get the HDC, name it as HDC main. You can name it whatever you can, but then be consistent with the naming. So to get the DC, we need to use the function get DC, and then we need to give a H window. Now what we need to do is, for HDC main, we want the whole screen to be captured. H window underscore desktop. So we want the HDC. Why? Because our game will be in the screen. I mean, the parent of our window will be our screen. So under the screen, our game will be running. So we have created our HDC. I hope you understood why we need a HDC. HDC is the parent of the current window, and H window is for the handle of the current window. This will give the handle of the current window, and then HDC will be giving the parent of the current window. So desktop is the parent of our current window. So we have created a HDC, and then we have already taken the rectangle. Now the rectangle is ready with us. What we need to do next, as I have explained you in the paint, we have ready the H window, and then the desktop is the HDC. HDC desktop. Desktop is HDC. Paladins is the H window, and then we have got it in the rectangle. This inside space is the rectangle which is in the rectangle. Now what we need to do, we need to find the center of the rectangle. That is the next task. We need to declare two variables, center of x. Center of the screen is center x will be, now this will be a little bit tricky. I'll be explaining you it in here, then you can understand. Let's say this is your screen. Then this topmost point will be the rectangle dot top comma rectangle dot left. I hope you understood this. So this point will be the rectangle top and then rectangle left. Oh sorry, first left and then top. So this point will be the rectangle left, and this point will be the rectangle top. And what will this point be? Rectangle, this will be rectangle dot right, right, and then this will be the, in the y it is the rectangle top. And what will this point be? It will be the, I'll just move it a bit side so that you can see. This will be the rectangle dot left, and then this will be the rectangle bottom. I hope you understood this. This point, and then what will this point be? This point will be rectangle dot right, and then rectangle dot bottom. So these are the coordinates of our rectangle. Now we want the center. To get the center, what we do is, I'll be giving you a simple formula. What will our x be? X will be simple, left plus width by 2. Is it okay? Alright. So but then for left it is the rectangle dot left, but then how to get the width? Width will be your right minus left. So what we'll do is rectangle dot right minus rectangle dot left. I hope you understood this. Let me move it into the center of the screen. So I hope you understood this. Your x, I mean center x will be your center x will be your left. So the starting point will be over here, start, plus half of the screen. Half of the screen, how can you get? Right minus left will give you the width, divided by 2 will give you the half of it. So left plus half of it. Similarly, you can do this for y. For y, what will it be? For y, it will be rectangle dot, it will be your top, and then bottom minus top will be your height. I hope you got this. Center x will be your left plus width by 2. Y will be your top plus height by 2. Height is what? Bottom minus top. I hope you understood these both. So we need to get these two variables in our code now. So name those variables and then give them a variable types. I hope you got these two. And then we need to give a semicolon as usual, as the rules. I hope you understood this. X is your rectangle left plus right minus left by 2. Now we have the center x and center y. What next? Now we need to create the scan reticle. Scan contents object. Scan contents and name it as reticle. Now we need to give the constructor. For the constructor, what are the parameters? First thing is center x is the first parameter, center y is the second parameter, and HTC is the third parameter. So the first parameter is your center x, center y, what is your HDC? HDC is your HDC main, which we have created over here. Since this is the parent of the whole screen, we have created the reticle. After creating the reticle, what we need to do is we need to call the scan reticle function. So reticle dot scan reticle. That is it. And the next thing is we need to exit out of this main function. To exit out of this main function, as the return type is int, we need to give the return 0. If you have used void main, no need of writing this return 0. And then before exiting the screen, we will tell that you are going to close this program. We'll just tell the user that you are going to close. I have already coded about that over here, I think. So what after if he wants to if he exits out of the screen, we are going to clear the screen and tell them that you are about to exit out of the screen, and then pause it. Alright, we have completed the coding, but then you might be thinking that we have finally completed the coding, but then there is a small bug in this program. That is, the center x and center y are not the exact centers of the reticle. Let me tell you the reason. Let's say, let us take this paint only. So this from this edge to this edge, so let's say the corner, we have these 4 corners, and then let me remove this paint. Let me remove this off. 1 second. Alright, so let's say this is our game window. So these 4, 1, 2, 3, and these 4 are the 4 corners which we have discussed previously. So but then the axis rectangle would be from this to this, and then the top will be over here, but then we want to get the center, means this extra part should be deleted. I mean we need to remove this y. So to remove this y, we need to shift the y down, and this y, the width of this y for our game is 11 units. So we need to shift the y 11 units. So if you see in this Visual Studio also, this is the top, and this is where the rectangle should start. This is the axis area. This whole will be the rectangle. So this distance should be subtracted. That distance is 11 units, so I have removed 11 units. And then coming to the x1, sorry, x point, this leftmost point is the, if I can enlarge, the leftmost point is the left, but then this 1 pixel of difference is what we don't want. So we want to shift the x by 1 pixel to the left, so to get the exact center, so we are going to shift the x by 1 pixel. That is it. So we have finally completed the programming part, and then now I'll build, and then once we'll go through the overview of this program. Let it build, and then I'll explain you what all we have done till now. I'll give a review of the program. See, it has given an error. R has been used. Okay, alright. So the thing is that the colors which we are going to be checking are red. So have not written it as red. And what this should be? This should be green. This should be your green. And what is the third one? We need to check for the blue. Alright, so we need to check for the range of red and then store it in the boolean condition. Check for the range of green and store it in the G boolean, and then check for the blue and then store it in the B. If RGB are true, we are going to, okay, right, the program is okay. We'll check if it is successful. Done. See, the build is successful. Now I'll give a simple overview of what is happening in our code, and then we'll test it with the exact game. So here the program execution starts. Take a break for 2 seconds, and then I'll start explaining the thing. Alright, so now let's start. So what we do is we'll first clear the screen, and then we'll welcome the user and tell him the instructions what to do, and then we'll tell him that if he presses a1, we are going to search for the game. That is it. So next thing is we are scanning for the name, and then we are creating a window. That window will create the handle for us. It will find a window, and then if you want to see the return type, it will be a H window type, and then it will return the window, and then we are creating a rectangle. Now the next check is if there is no game with the name with this name, and then you need to give exactly the name which I have given over here, or you can see the game name and type. Why? Because I have seen some other version. If it is an English version of the game, then only it will be like this. If it is some other version, it will be of some different name. And then we have created the window, and then we have created a rectangle. If there is no window with this name, if not of game window, if we didn't find any window, we'll tell that we are waiting for the window. We'll wait, search again, wait for a second. After a second, if no window is there, again we'll tell the same thing. If we found the window, we'll exit out of this function, and then we'll tell that we have found the game. If we found the game, we'll ask him if he wants to start the trigger bot. If he says okay, then we'll tell that trigger bot has started, and then we are going to tell that you can press delete to close. Next thing is we are going to create the rectangle, axis rectangle of the screen. Axis rectangle, by that I mean the rectangle in which the game is running. I mean in this window, in this area. And then we are going to create a HDC. HDC stands for handle of the parent window. So the current window being the game window, HDC main will be the whole desktop. And then we are calculating the center of the screen. I hope you understood this left, why I wrote this one. This will give you the width, and this will give you the height of it. After that, what we are doing is we are creating a object of scan reticle, and then we are scan contents, and then we are creating the reticle, and then we are telling it to scan for the reticle. After that, we are going to close the main program. This is the main. Coming to the header file, what we have done is we have included the windows.h, and then we have included the IO stream for using the cout. We have used these couts and end lines. For all those we need that. And then next thing is we have included namespace for using the cout, and then we have created the class. The class has 3 variables. You can even put these variables in private, but then if you put it in private, you need to write the getters and setters for it. Why to do that? That is a good practice actually, but then I am too lazy, right? So I have done like this. So we have declared 4 functions, 3 I mean 3. The first one is a constructor, parameterized constructor. The remaining 3 are to handle the hack. Coming to the definitions of the function, what they do. We have included the scan contents.h first, and then we have declared the constructor. So the constructor, what it should do, by the name specifies, it should take the values and initialize with the, I have put the local variables as underscore, I mean member instance variables as underscores to differentiate between these and this. So you need to take the value which is passed to the function and put it into these. That is done. Next we are going to scan reticle function. In the scan reticle function, while true, that means for infinite time, we'll check the color. Now what will check color do? Check color, it takes the pixel color reference and a point x and y. If is match is true, we are going to simulate a left click down and then left click up. These are the things which we'll simulate. But how to check for the matching? So to check the matching, we need a pixel. For that pixel, we are extracting the red, green and blue values into RGB, red, green, blue, and then we are checking if it is in our required range. This ranges, as I have shown you, you can use the paint and then use a color picker and extract out that colors. So this is for the red reticle, this and this RGB values. This is for the orange reticle if you are far away. I have already shown that in the first video. So if RGB, all the 3 values are satisfied, then we are going to return true. If not, we are going to return false. That is it for the is match. So if is match is true, as I have said, simulation of mouse at the point x and y, that is the center of the screen. So after the check color is executed, we want it to sleep for some time. Sleep will make the thread to be suspended. After that, if the user presses delete, we want to come out of this program. That is it for the coding part of this video tutorial. So we'll build it and see. Alright, now let us try to run this program without running the game. What will it tell? Wait for a second. Alright, see the Paladins trigger board. It tells correctly Paladins trigger board. Put the screen resolution as said. Put the reticle type to drop as said. I have spelled the reticle wrongly. It should be reticle. Okay, I will change it now. And then if you press 1, it will search for the game. See, it is waiting for the game. It will be waiting for 1 second and then recheck and then wait. That part of code has been done over here. See, waiting for the game. I'll change the spelling to reticle. Now I'll go ahead and open the game, and then I will show you the demonstration of this code.